Hey, this is Amy, and today we're going to cover the 3 best pelvic floor exercises you are not doing that's going to help pelvic floor issues. And if you like my channel, please subscribe to it by clicking right here. All right, so these are really kind of surprising things as far as the pelvic floor goes. What you're going to need is either a Coregeous ball or a soft Pilates ball. You can also use a big exercise ball or a foam roller, and preferably a soft one. If you don't have a soft foam roller, this one bends, then you want to roll it up in a yoga mat. So let's talk about pelvic floor just for a moment before we get going. So visualize your torso. Your pelvic floor is the supporting tissue and muscles at the bottom where your sexual organs are and where you pee, So when you use the bathroom. So we have the muscles on the bottom. We have muscles on the top, which would be the diaphragm. So those muscles work together. So visualize a soda can. So you have this top and the bottom, and then the sides, which would be your ribs and the tissue through here. And it all has pressure just like a soda can. Okay, so we have to maintain a good relationship between the diaphragm pressure and the pelvic floor pressure for the pelvic floor not to have issues like incontinence, prolapse, things like that. So diaphragm is very important here, and this is going to be the first one that's very easy to achieve, and it's alignment. Wearing shoes with a heel. I'm not talking about heels, lady, like big old heels. I'm talking about even a shoe like this that has the back part is taller than the front part. That is tilting you forward, and the tone of the pelvic floor is not optimal because your weight is tilted forward, and your body has to do this like contortionist thing to restack and get good alignment, but that's really tilting the pelvic floor muscles, and so the proper tone isn't happening. You want to wear a shoe without a big heel. So heels are really detrimental to your not only your pelvic floor issues, but also bone density. So that's a bonus of getting out of those heels, is that you're going to be more weight bearing and create healthier bone density. You want to get a shoe that is a 0 drop. So like these Altras, I love these Altras. It's a straight line. This is no bigger than the front part. So you want to look for a 0 drop shoe. I love these Altras. They also have a wide toe box. These are so comfortable and so light. Highly recommend this shoe. So that's your first tip. Get out of your heels. Start to transition into proper 0 drop shoes. That's going to help pelvic floor issues because the tone of the pelvic floor muscles is going to be better. Now, the second tip that might surprise you relates to your diaphragm. As I mentioned, the diaphragm and the pelvic floor work together. How does it work together? It works together because when you take a breath in, the diaphragm, it goes down, pushes down, and so does the pelvic floor. So there's a relationship where the diaphragm goes down, the pelvic floor goes down. Okay. And when you exhale, the diaphragm goes back up, and so does the pelvic floor. It lifts with the diaphragm. So we have this synergistic relationship between the two. If you are always in fight or flight, you're breathing very shallow, your breathing and your diaphragm is not working, and so you might have the opposite relationship to where when that pushes down, the pelvic floor is coming up, and that's not good for pelvic floor issues. So diaphragmic breathing is your number 2 thing. So exercise that you should be doing. So we're going to actually do that while we're on the roller or exercise ball or Pilates ball. either one of these, because you're going to be able to feel the feedback, feel the pelvic floor moving, hopefully, while we do this. So let's get to the third exercise, which is our diaphragmatic breathing with a pelvic floor release. So we're releasing tension now while we sit on the roller or the ball. So you're just going to sit on the ball, and you can use an exercise ball here. All right, you can sit on that, or you can sit on a soft roller. Okay, so we can sit here, and you can sit with your legs like this, or if you move it enough out of the way, crisscross legs. Okay, so now we're actually putting pressure on the pelvic floor muscles. If there's some tightness there, which there probably is because we clench there a lot, then this is going to help release that tension. Okay, so let's do some of our diaphragmatic breathing. We want to stack ribs over pelvis, and that's that whole, the alignment thing, stacking. So we have a proper tone in our pelvic floor. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. Most of us are breathing through the neck and chest most often throughout the day because we are in that fight or flight, high stress mode. This is going to make these muscles super tight when you constantly breathe through here. But we want to breathe through the diaphragm. So we want to feel the ribs maybe expanding and maybe the belly expanding, but not overly. Okay, so as we inhale, focus on minimizing the movement in the chest and neck area. And then as we exhale, I'm going to feel the diaphragm, the belly go in. So we're going to go out, the belly's going to go out, belly's going to go in. And not exaggerated. It doesn't have to be a deep breath here, a calming breath, because again, we're trying to get you out of that fight or flight mode. So let's take a few breaths, notice the diaphragm, then we're going to tune into the pelvic floor. If you want to place your hands on your ribs, feel free to do that. That might give you some feedback where it's easier to feel the diaphragm expanding. Just be mindful of the neck and shoulders. There will be some movement. Try to minimize that movement. Now I want you to just try to feel the pelvic floor. So I'm going to change my position. On the ball, you're able to feel this, but for me, I need to get off the glutes a little bit. So I'm going to go into this position. So and this is really hard for me to tune into the pelvic floor. So it may take some time to feel that. So as you inhale, you should feel the pelvic floor pushing into the ball or roller. And as you exhale, you should feel it lift. And again, it's challenging. And with practice, you're going to start to feel that releasing, and you're going to feel more movement in the pelvic floor. Right now, I'm not feeling a lot of movement. So that's something I need to, I probably should work on a little bit so I can feel that movement and just figure out which position is best for you. And hopefully that helps. I know this, women's health is not a priority in the medical world, and so there are if you do have issues there are pelvic floor physical therapists. I know a lot of people don't know that, but if you have prolapse or incontinence, that is not, it is normal, but you don't have to accept that, because there are ways to alleviate those issues. And I would recommend going to see a pelvic floor physical therapist. There aren't many, but if you can find one in your area and you're suffering from these issues, it could help tremendously. Hopefully this helps. The 3 easy things. So you want to get out those heels, you want to practice diaphragmic breathing, and then do a release with a ball or a roller in some way. Again, this is Amy. I hope you enjoyed that. Check out my free starter stretch to strength program. You're going to get 3 stretch routines, 15-minute stretch routines for your neck, your lower back, and your hips. You can click here and get that. And I have a new freebie, drum roll. If you want to learn more about intuitive eating, which I've been posting about lately, and you want to figure out what type of eater you are, go to my website, take the quiz. I have a 7-day intuitive eating challenge. Take the quiz, sign up for that. Your mind's going to be blown away from the information that you're going to get from that challenge. I hope you enjoy that. You can click here and get access to that. So go and check that out. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. Share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next week. Bye.